Today, I'm going to be talking about a series I absolutely love. This series right here, Miracle Girls, to me has just been such a super hardcore special interest for about a year now, and this series never gets the attention it deserves, so I'm going to do what I can to hopefully bring a little bit more light to it. So before I can get started with this video, I need to remind everybody that I'm not affiliated or associated with anyone in any way at all. I'm just a young person who loves to make videos about their life and the things they enjoy. And my channel is not for anyone under the age of 13. My videos and channel are aimed at people ages 13 and older. I just have to say this because of YouTube's guidelines. So now let's talk more about Miracle Girls. So I discovered Miracle Girls during like my second or third week of college last year, which was pretty much about this time last year. I discovered it through YouTube, where I saw a video of someone unboxing, Miracle Girls dolls, like this one I've got here. I got a Tomomi. Excuse me, I am not the best at pronouncing names, so I'm going to try my best. But I'm going to mostly call the characters by their English names, since that's what they're called in these manga I have here. So, I learned a lot about Miracle Girls, and I got a Mika Gay doll. I found her on eBay around this time last year, and I have to say, she is a beautiful doll. I love dolls by Takara, and when it's Miracle Girls, I mean, duh, it's amazing. And that's actually, too, what got me so into Takara and a lot of Japanese fashion dolls. So, now, without any further ado, we're going to get on with the Miracle Girls manga series. So I've been trying to compare the series to something, but it's so unique. It's nothing like I've ever read before. Keep in mind, I'm relatively new to manga and anime, especially manga. This is actually the first ever series I read the entire thing. Like, other than this, I've only read like the first arc of Card Capture Sakura 2. But the closest thing I can think of to compare the series to is just stories of like cute young girls going throughout their life, very slice of life, meets Sailor Moon, meets Stranger Things. And you've got Miracle Girls. And I swear if you've read the series, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I do understand that's kind of something you wouldn't expect to see at the same time. Especially the Sailor Moon meets Stranger Things. But it's like that. So, in the first manga here, let me show you a close-up of the cover and the back. It's where these two girls, Mika, the girl with the long hair, and Toni, the girl with the short hair, they're both sisters, and they're identical twins. And we find out that they've got a secret. They're Miracle Girls. They have this special power that when they're together, they can do things like teleport, they can like speak telepathically to each other, and a lot of stuff. And as the series goes on, they find out more about these miracle powers of theirs. So in this one, the girls decide to change places, and when this happens, Toni ends up meeting someone that Mika doesn't like, but Toni seems to really like. It's just a really cute little romance. And of course, hijinks ensue when you switch lives. And this just covers them fixing the things. They run into some conflict with a very strange teacher who is obsessed with powers like theirs. And, you know, they don't want their secret to become public. But if it was to become public, that would be very helpful to their teacher, who definitely believes in these powers, but most people do not. Also, Mika has a boyfriend named Chris, and he's like my third favorite character. Okay, let's go to the second one. I believe it's in the second one, don't quote me on this, that Toni gets together with the boy in the first book, who is named Jackson. And they're a real cute romance. The first two books to me really seem to focus on Toni more than Mika, but this is just like the continuation from the first manga. I'm not going to show the comics because I believe, it's not really something, we would get into some trouble with doing that, I believe. But I really wish I could, because the artwork is just beautiful. Like, if you love that old Shoujo artwork, the series is for you. But in this one, It's just continuation to the second one. And I believe it's that Mika and Jackson get together in this one. Not Mika and Jackson. No. Tony and Jackson. No. Mika's with Chris. No. But this is really cute as well. The first three are a lot more slice. The first three are a lot more slice of life, but once you get into book 4, that's when the drama really picks up. Now, the third one, I don't remember as much about this one as I do the first two, but I know that a certain character gets introduced in this one named Mason. Now, I should have said this before, but this will probably contain spoilers. I'm not trying to spoil, but it's really hard to talk and review a series when you can't. You know, it's really hard to do that without spoiling something. But I want to try my best here. But Mason is introduced in this, and he definitely brings some, not maybe necessarily drama, but he definitely causes some issues for our Miracle Girls here. We find out that he may or may not be the best of people, and I'm not sure if it's in the, I believe it's in the fourth one, we figure out that he's tied to a mysterious figure known as Mr. X, who, spoiler alert, is not a good guy. On this cover, you can see we've got Jackson here and the teacher I was talking about, who I don't remember his name. But especially, I know it's not exactly the same in the anime, but in the manga, he's a bit more of a good guy sooner in the manga than in the anime. But this is where things really start to get epic. This, I believe, is the longest of all the books. Yeah, it looks to me like it's definitely the longest. But this has got a lot of action in it. This is where like the big conflict is introduced in the fourth book. And a lot of stuff happened. I believe this has got a lot more Tony in it, because I know that the first series focuses more on the beginning of the series. I feel like Tony is more of the main character, but as the series goes by, I believe Mika becomes more of the main character. Mika's my favorite character, by the way. No offense to Tony or anyone else, but Mika's my girl. But yeah, the fourth one, I'm just trying to think of anything else I can say. It's got a lot to do with Professor X in this one. Yeah, it gets picked up, and like especially at this book is where it really is a lot more like, it gets to be a good bit like Stranger Things. I know that this series came out a long time before Stranger Things did. It came out in the 90s, and I really wish more Stranger Things fans, because I'm a pretty big Stranger Things fan, would read this series and could like see that it's kind of similar. It's just, I think it's really unique. I know I'm like talking way too much, but I like videos like this, just people, you know, going and just talking so much about things they love. So I had to do this for Miracle Girls course. So book 5 is where we get so much Mika and Chris, and I am just so here for it. Like, they are the cutest couple. I don't know if it's in the fourth one or the fifth one, but we find out that Chris is moving to London, which is going to be really hard for Mika because Mika really loves Chris. One thing I would say about the romances is, to me, it seems like Tony and Jackson are more of like that cutesy couple that are like friends a little bit more, that. But I feel like Mika's feelings are maybe a bit more, I know that she's liked Chris for a lot longer than Mika has liked Jackson, so I just feel like their romance is a bit more mature. Not that there's anything like mature in this series. It's definitely an A for all ages. I really enjoyed it though, being a young adult. I'm 19. I really enjoyed it. But this fifth one here has got so much, not Tony, I just keep misspeaking. It's got so much Mika and Chris in it. And also too, this one, I believe this is where we introduce two other twins in this as well, who definitely get as important as the series goes on. And one of these twins, they're twin princesses by the way, is a lot like Mika, and the other is a lot like Tony. But personally, I like the one who's a lot like Tony more, because the one who's a lot like Mika is the villain. And she especially is the villain in Mika's life. it has something to do with Chris, but I'm not going to give any more spoilers. One thing interesting about this, as you can see here, Chris has got pink hair, but I know for a fact in the anime, and I believe he actually has brown hair, because I know that a lot of shoujo manga will draw the guys with like pink or purple hair, but really they'll have like brown or black hair, which is interesting. But I don't think it's in, I think it's in the 6th one that it's got like my favorite Mika and Chris scenes, but this is where all the Mika, this is where the Mika stuff picks up, and there's a lot of Chris in this. I think Chris is in this one, I think Chris is in the first one the most, and then this one the second most so far. Alright, so now this is the 6th one. This is where there really gets to be a lot of Mika and Chris. If you can't tell, that's like my favorite part of the series. Well, no, it's not my favorite, but I really like Mika and Chris. But here the girls are. I love this cover art. Their little dresses are so cute. But this one, I'm pretty sure, is the one that has the girls going to London to visit Chris. And this one, we really get to see more of the twin princesses, or maybe they're the twin queens, I'm not sure, but this has a lot of them in it. The series definitely gets a lot more epic and intense in this book. So much Mika and Chris. This, to me, this one might have been my favorite. I think, if I had to be honest, 6 and 7 are my favorite. So here it is. Okay, so 7 right here is really where I like to say the beginning of the end starts. The ending of this series is epic. Like, I've not really seen the anime, but I'm familiar with it. I've done a lot of research into it, and I'm trying really hard to get my hands on it. I know there's not an English dub, but there is a, it's clearly in Japanese, and I believe there's a Spanish dub as well, with like Terry Maggie, that version of it. But I would love to get my hands on it, but I really want to see it. But from what I hear, I truly believe that the ending in the manga is much more epic than the ending in the anime. And the author of the series, I do not want to butcher her name. I'm going to try my best to read it. Naomi Akimoto. She said in here, because like a lot of shoujo, it's probably like all manga artists. I don't know. I've only read shoujo, but she says she'll write like little notes in these, and she said that the ending is different in the manga than in the anime. But this is where everything gets really big. Everything like gets very serious. A lot of action, a lot of epicness, a lot of really cute scenes with Mika and Tony happen in this. I'm not so sure how much of the boys are in this. I know that there's some Chris in here, and of course some Jackson, because Jackson's in Jackson's in it a lot more than Chris. Okay, so the start of the end. This is like the most epic one, I believe. This is 8. This one's where like the epicness, the really like epic ending starts, and this is the second part of it. Personally, I think the actual final volume isn't as epic as this one. Because it's kind of like if you're watching a really epic episode of a show and it's cut in 2 parts, but you cut the first part has 75% of it and the second part has 25. That's kind of how I look at these last 2. But this is where things get really, really epic. A lot of stuff happens with Princess, I think her name's Maria in here, I'm not sure. That could be her original name. A lot of stuff happens with her. It's very epic. I think the series starts to get a little bit more dark here, but it might have gotten dark in this last one as well. I think this is the second thickest book, but a lot of stuff happens here. I believe a lot of really cute Mika and Chris here, a lot of really cute Tony and Jackson, just really epic. Just very like strong, hardcore. This was probably, in terms of cute romance, I think 5 and 6 were the best, but in terms of like epic action, definitely 8. Okay, so 9 is the final one here. This one, so I got book 1 through 8, all of them except 3 in a lot, but 9 wasn't included, and I underestimated how difficult it would be to find this book. The prices on eBay were expensive, but I got lucky and was able to get like a library book version of it for pretty cheap. But here it is, and you can see on the back the girls and the boys are so cute in here, and you can see the girls are wearing kind of wedding-like dresses, and as you'll see, this might kind of be a reason for that. But this one, the like first half of it, is the ending of the story. I personally think a lot of the most epic parts have already happened by now, but it's the ending. Like I said, I really love the ending. The ending of the series is epic. Epic. I would even argue it's more epic than the ending in some of the Sailor Moon stuff. I do know that this is a major special interest of mine, but people underestimate how epic this series is. And then the second half of this manga, okay, so the second half of this manga is like a story that I believe is about how Mika and Tony have a fight or something, and it's just kind of like, I don't think this is the right way of saying it, but it's kind of like a little one-shot that happens. I really enjoyed it, and then it's really cute. It has a happy ending. And now, like, truly how this manga ends, this is going to be a spoiler, but this is how you end a shoujo. Perfect. Chef's kiss. It ends with it being years later, and Tony and Jackson are getting married, and Mika and Chris are getting married, and they're having, like, a double wedding. And, like, it shows that Mika and Tony still have their powers, and that's so many years later, and they still love Jackson and Chris. And Mika and Jackson, not Mika and Jackson, no, Mika and Jackson are not the couple. It's Mika and Chris. But Mika and Chris go off to London to live together, and Tony and Jackson are, like, staying in Japan. But they're still, like, all of them are best friends because, like, I should have mentioned this sooner, but Jackson and Chris are best friends. So, like, you know, they all stay best friends, and they're all, like, happy together and stuff, but perfect chef's kiss ending. Like, love the series. I know I'm probably, like, sounding really, like, obsessed with this, but my love for this series, especially because it is so unknown, it's so sad because it slipped through the cracks, and it's great. I'm going to talk about the Miracle Girls dolls in a minute, but now I'm going to talk about this manga magazine I got from Japan. I ordered online. It's got the Miracle Girls on the cover. I've heard about these, and I want to collect more of them because recently I've had a major shoujo obsession. And, you know, I actually got this at Christmas of last year, but it's got a lot of different series in it. It's got Sailor Moon, Miracle Girls, and a lot of other series I'm not really familiar with, but are totally adorable shoujo. So I'm going to check the actual stories of this out soon. But I just got this because I love the adorable artwork of Mika and Tony on it. I believe this is Miracle Girls 7 or 8 is in here. But it's really cute. I would love to get, I know they also make, there's a good bit of Miracle Girls merchandise, which is kind of surprising to me. Very thankful though, because I believe how it worked was Miracle Girls wasn't the most popular in the US, but it was really popular in Japan, and it was really popular in some other countries. I believe it was very popular in some different Spanish-speaking countries, because I do believe they got a dub that I believe is pretty good called Terry Maggie. But this is the Japanese doll by Takara. I believe this was the only country, Japan was the only country that got Miracle Girls dolls. I have 2 of each. I have 1 Tony out of box, and I have 2 Mikas out of box. I did get my Mika in box, and I unboxed her last year because I couldn't keep her in. The only reason this Tony is still in her box is because I have another Tony, and she's too beautiful to take out. I actually plan to get another Tony in box to unbox, and I'm going to keep one like this, and I'm also going to get a Mika because I would collect everything from Miracle Girls. I love it that much. I don't believe there really is much more media other than the anime series, and what else is there? I know there's like some kids storybooks, I believe. I know that there's a Miracle Girls video game, which I would love to play. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. I have some other little Miracle Girls figures that I got, the little mini ones. I unboxed in my buy video. I have that. But I would love to get all the Miracle Girls stuff. When I went to MomoCon, and first ever anime convention I ever went to, around like October of last year, I actually cosplayed as Mika, and it was the absolute best. But I know that they make like a little accessory kit with like Mika's jewelry, at least her little necklace and her ring. So I would love to have that. Not even just like as a collector piece, but to go with my outfit, because I think that would be really cool. But I've only met very few people who know about Miracle Girls, and if I could just meet one other person who loves this series and we could talk about it, I would be so freaking happy. And here on the back, it just shows some really cute stuff. I don't know how well you can see this, but I do have a YouTube short where I show off this doll and her box better. So if you're interested, you can check that out. But thank you for watching me just talk about how much I love this very little known series. And maybe please check it out because I think you would like it. Also, if you really like stories with twins, this would obviously be a good fit for you. But it just has so many things I love in it. It's a hardcore special interest of mine, and if you haven't read it or looked into it, I think you should. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and stay kind. And believe in miracles.